Hi, it's Kathryn here again with Bullitt County Public Library, and I have another literary inspired craft for you. Today what we're going to be doing is a little bit of an art journaling type of project. So if you're not familiar with art journaling, it's something that a lot of people choose to do instead of necessarily writing in their journal every day or every week or whatever they choose to do. They actually put art in their journal on that basis. So today we're actually going to be combining the traditional form of journaling and art journaling, and we're going to be decorating a poem. So the first thing that you should probably do for this exercise is to go ahead and pick out a poem. If you want to write one yourself, that's great. If you want to pick out a poem that is by somebody that you really like, an author that you like, or something like that, that is also perfectly fine. It's just going to go into your journal and we're going to decorate it. So as you can see, here is my journal, and you can use just about any type of journal for this. This is just the one that I have laying around, and as you can see, I have a variety of different types of supplies over here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to get into today, so we'll just make it up as we go along. But you can use just about any type of art supply for this that you might just have sitting around your house. It's not really a very picky project at all. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open up your journal to a blank page. And I always like to have my poem pre-chosen or pre-written. And that's what I like to do, just to have it off on a piece of paper on the side, and then I can really make it look nice and neat. But if you're the type of person who likes to sort of write as you go, that is also perfectly fine. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and plan out exactly where I'm going to be putting my poem on the page. So I'm going to actually be using just a one stanza poem today, so I'm going to give a little bit more space for the art on the page, I think. So I'm just going to take my pencil and just very lightly draw a line across the corner of this page. So I'm going to put my poem up here, and then whatever doodle or art I'm going to do down here. So the first thing I like to do when I'm doing something like this is I like to go ahead and pencil in the words of my poem. Okay, so I have my words penciled in. That's the first part of the project done. So the next thing I want to do is I actually want to start putting some elements of the design I'm hoping to incorporate into this art journaling project, or I guess the part that makes it more art and less journaling. I'm going to actually start putting in some lines. I think I'm going to do sort of a stained glass type of look, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that. So I'm doing this one-handed, so sorry about the mug holding down my makeshift ruler. I don't have a ruler, so I'm using the box of colored pencils that I happen to have right next to my journal as a fake ruler, I guess, a straight edge. So to make this stained glass pattern of sorts, I guess, you just need like a straight something, and you just take your pencil and you just kind of lightly trace along the edge of whatever it is. And I kind of just did that all across my page, and it's a little bit wonky, so I might go in and fix it in a little bit, but the next step is going to be coloring over my lines. Alright, so I have my lines done. For these, I used this just water-based marker, and for my words, I used a felt tip pen with a sort of a little bit of a softer nib there. And I used 3 different colors here and 1 color on the lines. I tried to make them sort of different sizes just to, I don't know, have fun with it. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my background is inspired by the poem that I've chosen. So I'm going to take some inspiration from the idea that it is spring, and I'm going to kind of doodle some flowers in some of the little squares here before I color them in. Okay, so as you can see, I just put some flowers sort of in the middle here to kind of tie all of the spring themes back into my poem. And I used all of the colors that I used in writing my poem in my flowers, and I did that with these felt tip pens like I wrote the words in, and then a little bit of these colored pencils in there too, just to kind of add some color. So the last thing to do on this project is to actually color in these fake stained glass panels, and I'm going to use colored pencils for that. Okay, I filled in all of my colors with colored pencil, and I went ahead and left these white just so they would stand out a little bit more. And then I also left the words white so they would stand out a little bit more as well, because those are the focal points I wanted. And then I kind of drew some little squiggly green things up here just because I thought there wasn't enough of this sort of greenish color, and I didn't really have a colored pencil that matched it, so I couldn't put it in here. So yeah, that is the whole project. Thanks, guys. And as always, I'm gonna do a quick little dramatic reading of my poem, so here goes. All right, it's entitled April. Spring blooms, dropping blossoms onto sidewalks, wafting floral notes through sweetening air. And that's it. Thanks, everyone.